Hey everyone, welcome back to Shade Review. In today's video, we are reviewing the Mr. Leight Itci sunglasses. But first, I'll thank today's video sponsor, our own website, shadereviewstore.com, the absolute best place to buy designer sunglasses, up to 80% off the original MSRP. Again, the website there is shadereviewstore.com. Check it out. So let's go ahead and pop the sunglasses on face and talk about the dimensions. These have 51mm lenses and a 20mm bridge. And it's the standard and only size of these sunglasses that Mr. Leight produces these frames in, so there's not a smaller or a larger lens size. Now, even though they have 51mm lenses, which is very small, they're actually going to wear much more similar to a 57mm lens size because they do have this thick acetate rim that runs around the lens. So as far as the actual space taken up by the frame, it's going to be much more similar to 57mm lens size, which is about the standard size of a classic aviator teardrop style pair of frames. So don't be too alarmed by the really small lens size here. Now, the name Itci is actually Japanese for one, and that of course stands for one single bridge. So kind of a really cool naming style here, and I hope I pronounced the Itci name right, but if I didn't, I do apologize to my Japanese viewers for butchering the pronunciation, because I probably did. But yeah, a really cool name and a really cool design here with that titanium single bridge. And you can only make a pair of frames like this with titanium, because if it was made out of any other material, it would actually just keep bending back and forth and it would easily lose its shape. Titanium kind of has a good memory to it, so if you bend it, it's going to kind of pop back to where it should be. It's also a very, very strong and durable material as well. So all the metal bits here are made out of titanium, which is really nice. That's going to help reduce the weight of the frames. Now, as far as lenses go, these have a very high quality CR39 lens, which is basically the best high quality lens that you can buy other than an all glass lens. Now, of course, you could not put all glass lenses in these frames because the temples basically weigh nothing. So you'd have all the weight right here on the nose and they would not be balanced. As it is, the balance here is actually not really good. As you can see here, they definitely are very top heavy just because the temples are so lightweight. So I'm actually happy they did put CR39 lenses in here because otherwise, it actually would not really be a functional pair of sunglasses. Now, as far as the actual total weight of the frames with the lenses, these come in at only 24 grams, so extremely, extremely lightweight. Definitely one of the lightest weight pair of frames that we've ever reviewed on the channel, which is really, really good. This definitely puts it in the top 1% of all lightweight frames that we've ever reviewed. So really good practicality as far as the weight goes, even though, again, a lot of the weight is going to be here on the nose. Personally, it's so lightweight, I don't feel any issue with that, but they do feel just a little bit top heavy when wearing them on the face. It's kind of hard to describe, but they do just feel a little top heavy, like the top is going to kind of want to come down and fall off the face. Now these frames are going to be a little bit hard to adjust because they are made out of titanium, and right out of the box they are a little bit loose on me. So here, if I move my head, sorry if I hit the microphone right there, but if I move my head, they're gonna kind of slide down just a little bit. Now I can adjust these, but here with the titanium bridge, you have to be very careful with the adjustments that you make to not destroy the titanium. So it's gonna be really hard to do this properly. So definitely keep that in mind as well. If you do buy a pair and you have a little bit smaller than average face, you're gonna probably fall off the face just a little bit like this. Now they're not gonna fall and hit the ground on my face particularly because the skull ear rests are going to help stick on the ear, but definitely something to keep in mind. And it's just definitely a little bit annoying that they didn't get the sizing right for my particular face right out of the box, where typically for most brands, including Mr. Leight, frames and the standard size are going to fit my face perfect right out of the box. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind there. Now, as far as the exact colorway that I'm wearing in today's video, these have Mr. Light's Summit acetate inserts and then titanium frames here, and then the temple tips are going to be matching as well, matching the front of the frames. And then the lenses are going to be just standard G15 polarized lenses. The optical clarity of these is very, very clear, almost as good as all glass, but these lenses are also not going to have quite as good scratches as in frames. Of course, are made in Japan, and they say Mr. Leight and then made in Japan here in the inside or right ear rest of the frames. And then here on the inside left ear rest, we can see the exact color code and model information. And then in the inner left ear rest, we can see it does say polarized, because these have polarized lenses, of course. They also do have very nice and premium fully titanium nose rests, which feel really good on the nose, feels really nice and kind of premium, but they're not going to be as sticky as a plastic one would. So again, they're going to kind of slide on the nose a little bit easier than it would be if it was a plastic material. Now, as far as coverage from sun goes, these frames are actually not going to offer the best coverage from sun. So here up top, we can see there's a pretty massive gap gap to let sunlight in unprotected. And here on the sides, again, there's a massive gap that does let sunlight in unprotected, but they do have a very nice and premium anti-reflective material here on the backside of the lens, which is going to help reduce sunlight coming in, bouncing off the lens at an angle, causing eye discomfort. So that's really important to have on a pair of frames. It doesn't offer good coverage from the sun. Now these frames do have Mr. Light's really kind of innovative temples here, so they're actually going to have the little crease in it, which is going to allow them to bend out and give a custom fit to the face. Now again, with this particular pair of frames, it again was a little bit too wide out of the box, so that actually kind of makes it worse. Because it bends out even more than I want it to. But if you have a little bit of a larger head than mine, it actually should be perfect because it is going to bend out kind of like Purcell's reflective stem system. Usually I like this a lot, but here with this particular pair of frames, because it's a little bit wide, I actually really would prefer if it didn't have that at all. I don't want any flex. But again, I can adjust that by bending in these titanium temples a little bit. So now as far as pricing goes, these frames are going to run you almost $700 directly from Mr. Light's website. We do have a couple of these available on our website for a substantial discount off the original MSRP. I don't know if these frames are quite worth the $700 price tag, but they are certainly worth if you can get a pair for under $300. So I'm going to leave a link in the description down below directly to our website if you are interested in picking a pair of these frames for your own. We only have the one colorway, but we do have a couple of pairs of these left in stock. And overall, I think it is a decent pair of frames. I definitely like the look of them. It's definitely kind of an interesting take on the classic aviator style. I do love the weight being extremely light as well. But at the end of the day, personally, I would actually just prefer to have a double bridge pair of aviator frames. It's going to have less flex to them. They're going to be a little bit stronger. And personally, I also do like the look of a double bridge as well. But if you're looking for something that's going to make you stand out a little bit amongst a crowd of people wearing aviators, these frames definitely might be for you. But that's okay for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give me a big thumbs up down below. And of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button and then you'll be notified every single time I upload a brand new video just like this one to our YouTube channel. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.